If you were to come up to me and ask me, hey, Parisa, as a meditation teacher with your many years of experience, both in practice and in guiding others, what would you say is the most important insight or teaching in just a few words? I would say, how about just one word? So I was just about to do a little repair on this little ceramic birdie. When you fill it with water and you blow through it like a whistle, it makes a cute whistling bird sound. And I knocked it off a shelf the other day and broke it, and it's a very precious item to me. So I'm going to attempt today to kind of put it back in place. And while I was doing that, I had a video topic on my mind. So I thought, even though I know this about myself, that I am not good at multitasking, I thought, let's give it a go anyway. Let's see if I can, while I'm doing this repair, have a little chat, because it's been a while and I truly have missed making videos. And it's, my video upload schedule has definitely fallen off a little bit. And I am still very much wanting to continue to make videos, but I don't know what the frequency is going to be. I have other responsibilities in life right now and other things that need my attention. So I thought this was a good time to just make a quick video without overthinking it, without doing too much editing, hopefully, and but just to share something that is an important insight for me. And the whole point of this channel is to share insights and tools and teachings and really practical things that can help us along on our path. Okay, so here's the thing. A lot of times I am very guilty of overcomplicating the practice and my life. And so what I have learned over the years, not just out of necessity, but I think this is a truth, is that it's actually possible to boil down, for me personally, and I suspect for you too, to boil down all of the spiritual teachings, all of the big insights, all of the big direction that I need, the guidance that I need, in just one simple word. And the word is obviously more than just a word. It is so embodied. It is so potent and pregnant. I don't know if I want to say that. It's so pregnant with so much that I think this one word can point to everything else that we need to know to guide us on our path. And the word is relax. This one word to rule them all, one word to point to so much. Relax. So if you are someone who is already deeply relaxed, living in this modern age, deeply relaxed and completely open and accepting and in the flow, I don't know if I can help you. But for everyone else out there, for you probably, we're often too contracted. We're the opposite of relaxed. We are holding, we're tight, we're controlling, we're trying, we're efforting. All of these other words that point to the opposite. I really like the word contracted. Contracted, that tightness, that holding. To me, okay, here's what will be really helpful here, okay? And I'll try to put it on the screen eventually. Even though I said I didn't want to do a lot of editing, I'll just add a few visual aids on the screen because I think it's really helpful. So I feel like we can visualize or understand our spiritual path as a continuum or a spectrum. And often we start on closer to one end of the spectrum or the continuum, and through our practice, our aspiration is to slide over to the other end. And we may slip and slide up and down this continuum throughout the day, throughout our lives, sometimes even moment by moment. But generally, the aspiration is we're kind of starting at one end, and we're, with our practice, with our learning, with our personal growth, sort of moving to the other end of this spectrum. So on one end of the spectrum, we have all that is not relaxed. We have tightness and contraction, and we have trying, and we have desire and grasping and wanting. And all of this tightness is actually related to having a sense of being separate. Because if we're separate from the outer world, therefore we feel incomplete, and that we feel like we need to do things, have things, be things to feel whole and good. And so there's this constant chase. And so all of these describing words that I'm using to describe this end of the spectrum, this is actually supernatural. There's not necessarily anything wrong. This is how we experience reality in a dualistic way, that we are these separate selves and that we want to reach or do or obtain or be different things. Again, what I often say, the more, better, different, right? That chase. This is sort of built into us biologically. It's part of our survival mechanism to strive. And evolutionarily, it has helped us to survive. So again, not a bad thing for survival, but maybe not the best thing for peace and happiness and well-being. So again, more describing words for how we are when we're in this, when we're really in this point of view on this end of the spectrum. I would say that here, it's almost like this contraction, this tightening really defines and hardens our sense of self and our sense of separation from everything. And with that, there's this sense of being quite attached to our personal stories, taking things really personally, feeling quite separate from others. And along with that, there's this sense of urgency and time being finite maybe, and that we need to do all of this stuff. And we're really chasing to do all of this stuff to really feel good. And then here comes in our guiding word. Here comes in this word, relax. So already when we just relax the body, we are bringing in a softening. We are decontracting. We are softening that hard sense of self. No matter where you think you are on your spiritual path, you have naturally already glimpsed moments when you feel super connected rather than separate, when you feel super in the flow rather than trying to control and trying to manipulate and try to chase things. So you already have a felt sense of what it feels like to be a little bit freer from this sticky end of the spectrum, where really all of our problems are, all of our suffering is, because there's this aching longing and things not being okay and wanting things to be different, more, better, different. And so you already know what it's like to sort of tiptoe an inch a little bit further on the other end of the spectrum. And so, of course, it's a spectrum. So there's all of this in between, and we slip and slide depending on moods and depending on so many things we may and slip and slide back and forth. It's not a straight line, right? This is just language. This is just an analogy. This is just the mind. This is just me using some language, using my mind to communicate with your mind. Really, it's a lot more of a spiral, and it's a lot more messy, and it doesn't always feel like we're smoothly gliding toward the other end. But inevitably we're all growing, we're all evolving, and we're all kind of getting closer to that end. Whether, there's spontaneous jumps, whether there's big life events, that make you tiptoe or leap a little bit closer to this end of the spectrum, or truly what I think is the most reliable way is doing practice, your personal practice, your spiritual practice, and yes, relaxing is what really helps us to spiral, again, imperfectly, non-linearly, but reliably a little bit closer to this end. So, okay, so what can we expect on this end of the continuum? So it's really the opposite of everything we talked about here. It's not like you've completely forgotten or denying or, rejecting this reality here, but there's this ability to maybe it's more helpful to say that we're able to now hold both, okay? So there's this sense of, okay, yeah, there's a sense of self and I am a human in this body and I have needs and desires, but also it's kind of possible to have a softer sense of self, maybe a more expansive, wider sense of self. Maybe it's possible to feel more connected and a little bit less separate. And when we're a little bit more, and when we're a little bit better connected to this reality and this sort of perspective or this view, then it's a little bit easier to let go of expectations, of desires, of that grasping and that constant chasing. Again, a little more relaxed, a little more softer. Instead of that aching suffering that comes with the chase, there's a little bit more peace. There's a little bit more freedom. There's a little less tightening and gripping and trying and controlling, and rather being in the flow and allowing or radically accepting and being okay with things just as they are. You could describe this end as being connected to a reality that is non-dual, which simply means less separation and more connection or more oneness or more of that inclusive view of everything. Also, it's possible to not take things so personally because we don't have such a contracted sense of self and we aren't so attached to the stories of me and mine, my life and my desires and my needs. There's a little bit more softening there. This is where empathy and compassion grow. This is where love feels really generous and expansive. And again, this doesn't have to be some special spiritual state or some ultimate state of enlightenment that is out of reach. You probably have already tasted all of this in moments of connection or beauty and awe. And so you can see why this one word, relax, in a way kind of points to everything that is in that wider, non-dual, perhaps more ultimate view of truth or reality. To me, simply when I relax my body, I can touch into a familiarity from moments in my life previously where I felt more connected to that sense of being a little bit more free from my thoughts, a little bit more free from my worries and my fears, and just in more peace and ultimately more free. So today I really wanted to keep this video short, and I hope it was helpful to see how we can really, in a lot of ways, keep the practice simple and almost have a shorthand or one word, or maybe for you, one breath, one exhale, one posture can really represent all the teachings, all the wisdom, and everything that we want to aspire toward. And in a way, in that moment of truly relaxing, truly softening the body, softening the breath, we can have a glimpse of that very aspirational way of being, and that it's actually possible to access that right here, right now. So wherever you are right now, notice the quality in your body, notice the quality of breath, notice posture, maybe even facial expression, and see if you can to any degree, even just a few percent, kind of slide by relaxing the body, taking a breath, and bringing that quality into the body first. We can start there. And letting that really radiate out from there into our being. For most of us, most of the time, I think we need that reminder to relax, to let go, and let everything else follow. I think it really can be that simple. I've noticed it in my own practice, in my own life, and let me know if you've noticed that for you. Let me know if that simple decontraction or relaxation can help point to all of the rest and everything else good that you want for yourself. If this was helpful or interesting, I hope you leave a comment and let me know. And I really love making these videos, especially these little informal chats with you. So even as I'm gluing this and working on this, I'm noticing where I'm kind of gripping, and I can relax and enjoy my little repair. So maybe not the most elegant kintsugi repair ever, but here is the finished product. Here is the beautiful golden glue that I used. Should I go fill it up with water? Yeah, let's see. Let's see if it actually works. Okay, I just filled it up with water. Let's see. Let's see if it works. Yes! Oh my God, it worked. It looks like it's leaking. I don't know if it's leaking or if I just got water on the outside. No, it's definitely leaking, but whatever, it works. I'm happy. Thank you for being here with me. From my heart to yours, I love you. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you next time. All right, and that's a wrap.